Testament, Book of Matthew 10:26. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebub, how much more the members of his household? So do not be afraid of them. There is nothing concealed that will be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is what is whispered in your ear? It's funny, that's what I'm telling you guys now. Proclaim from the roofs, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. And not two sparrows sold for a penny, yet one of them will fall to the ground and apart from the will of your Father. Now if I go on for an explanation part, yes, the part where I said Beelzebub, for those may not know, yes, technically yes, Beelzebub is actually a name of a demon in hell. Now, but one of them, yes, is actually called Beelzebub, in which this demon, unfortunately, some people summon with a Ouija board or spirit boards and stuff like that. Now, I never had Beelzebub, when I used to do Ouija boards, I was not using my head straight, and I was, being too curious and trying it, even though I was not getting the point of, curiosity killed the cat, as the saying goes. That's a story for a whole nother time. And even the very hairs on your head. Oops, went a little too far. You are not two sparrows sold for a penny, yet one of them will fall to the ground apart from the will of your Father. And even the very hairs on your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Whoever acknowledges me before men, I will also acknowledge him before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before men, I will also disown him before my Father in heaven. So what does this mean? So basically it's saying that it's saying in modern English, it's saying, if you deny me before man, and you deny being a Christian, you deny believing in me, and, for whatever the reason is, it could be multiple different reasons, but basically if you deny me before anybody, any human, animal, everything, then I will deny you also when you come to heaven. But if you admit, to being a Christian, you have to, you're like me. In other words, well, yeah, that's why I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. There's no way to change my mind because I've seen the truth. I've seen, all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I said, I messed with Ouija boards, spirit boards, black magic, stuff like that, which I shouldn't have, which is dumb, but I was curious. And nothing at all has told me that there is no God or no afterlife. I'm like, I've seen so much to know that, and I admit to anybody, even I said I know people, non-believers. I've talked to people who refuse to believe and stuff like that. And I admit to anybody that I'm a Christian, and I kind of have to say, I'm like, well, that's what I am. I'm not sorry for it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a person, like I say it how it is, because that's how my mother raised me. So it's basically saying that those who admit to man, woman, child, everything, admit to people that you are a Christian, you are with Jesus, he will admit you to his Father. However, if you decide, I want nothing to do with Jesus, I want nothing to do with you, so stay away from me. Basically, Jesus will do the same to you and say, fine, then you stay away from me too. That's basically the gist of it. Not in those exact words, but you get the idea. Okay. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword, for I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Anyone who leaves his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me, and anyone who does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. So basically, it's saying that God's basically saying that, that He doesn't want you to put the thing somebody's more important than God or to Him, or you don't want someone to, or you don't want someone. He doesn't want you to put anything or someone above God and say they're more important or they're better than God or they're more perfect. That's basically what that whole thing means. And I know some people say like they don't know if God's there. Like some people say like say to me like, why do you know God's a him and not a her or this or that? How we know it's if God was never born, how do you know what his gender is? And I'm like, well, it's just the pronoun we use for him because the only other neutral pronoun we have is it, but God's not it. He's a being who's worthy of love and shows us love and has given us the gift of love. Now, when it comes to, as we know, as sex or gender or whatever you want to call it, we don't know if God's a male, female. We don't know. Now, being that Jesus was male, I'm guessing that God's probably male, but like I said, I don't assume or say because I don't know. And the Bible doesn't answer clearly if God the Father is male or female. So they just use him as just like a pronoun to refer to him as him, like he's doing this or that, like that kind of thing. But as a general thing, no. Like I said, we don't have a gender neutral pronoun that would say like that he could be either one because we don't know. The Bible never says it clearly. But like I said, being that Jesus is male, I'm guessing is probably male. But again, we don't know. Anyone who loves, I read that part. I think it was here. Whoever finds his life and will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake he will find it. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives the one who sent me. Anyone who receives a prophet because he is a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and anyone who receives a righteous man because he is righteous man will receive a righteous man's reward. And if anyone gives even a cup of cold water to the one of these little ones because he is my disciple, I tell you the truth, he will certainly not lose his reward. Jesus and John the Baptist. After Jesus had finished instructing his 12 disciples, he went on from there to teach and preach to towns of Galilee. When John heard in prison what Christ was doing, he sent his disciples to ask him, "Are you the one who has come, or should we expect someone else?" Jesus replied, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive the sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cured, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is preached to the poor." Good news is preached to the poor. Blessed is the man who does not fall away on account of me. As John's disciples were leaving, Jesus began to speak to the crowd about John. What did you go out into the desert to see? A reed swayed by the wind. If not, what do you go out to see? A man dressed in fine clothes? No, those who wear fine clothes are in kings' palaces. Then what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet, this is the one about whom it is written, I will send my messenger ahead of you, who will prepare your way before you. I tell you the truth, among those born of women there was not risen anyone greater than John the Baptist, yet he who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven has been forcefully advancing, and forceful men lay hold of it. For all the prophets in the law prophesied until, I think that's how you say it, until John. And if you are willing to accept it, he is the Elijah who has to come. He has wisdom is proved right by her actions. Alright, so now for the explanation of that. So yes, Jesus did travel with a whole bunch of different people. He forgave adulterers, so basically people who cheated on their spouse. Was it tax collectors? One of his disciples, I think it was John, but I could be wrong on that. But one of his disciples actually was someone who would kill Christians and take them out because they were Christian. And stuff like that, until eventually he changed his ways. And he followed Jesus and became a Christian himself and one of Jesus' disciples. So Jesus just did hang out with people, even people who were doing absolute evil and really bad things, but changed. And he still hung out with them. It didn't matter what they did. He still hung out with them anyway. Just while you watch this video, it doesn't matter what sin you've done, no matter what evil, bad sin, whether you're in the jail, whether you hurt yourself or whatever it is. It doesn't matter to God or Jesus. They both love you equally, and they love you no more than they do anybody else. They equally same. They love you no matter what, and they want you to do better. You know, and they don't pass judgment on you. They still want to save you. You could be in jail for the rest of your life for doing absolute horrific things, but Jesus would still hope that you come to him to be saved, so that you also can be saved and stuff. Because I see so many Christians saying this person's going to hell and this and that. I'm like, shut up. You know, not to sound harsh, but it's like Jesus wouldn't say to somebody, "Oh, you sinned. Oh, well, you're going down there." No, he would tell you the truth, and he would try to get you to change your ways, so that you could end to follow him and to believe in him, so that you could be saved, so that when he goes on the cross, he could save you as well. And then no matter what you did, you have a chance to go to heaven. Because really, when you think about it, the word in heaven, you know, when the angels and all the angels, well, most angels, you know, betrayed God. Because Lucifer, like I said, even the devil himself was an angel once. You know, he wasn't even a devil. He was a light bearer called Lucifer. And unfortunately, Lucifer, the devil, whatever you want to call him, you know, but this time he was called Lucifer. You know, he was thrown out of heaven, out of the war of heaven. And the angels that joined Lucifer, betrayed God and the other angels. They're obviously what you know as demons. And so, yes, I would say that's partially why, you know, the demons hate humans and they don't like us. They possess, like I said, all sorts of stories. Demons possess people. They hurt them, stuff like that. I mean, you could look all over videos of haunted places with demons and people get scratched, bit, everything else. Like, you know, it's crazy. And I've been to, you know, and I definitely I've been to haunted places. Now, nothing with demons. I would never go to a place with a demon because I wouldn't trust it. Like, for instance, the real life Conjuring house. I would, as much as I'm very curious to see what it's like all the spiritual activity that went on there, I'm like, no, thank you. And there's an area nearby that she has a haunted place. And I could definitely tell because I remember when I went there, like, usually they say the spirits would stay up, you know, upstairs, but I could definitely tell they definitely weren't upstairs because as soon as I walked in there, now maybe it's because I'm a Christian and I've studied, like I said, studied Ouija boards, I studied stuff like that. Now, obviously I don't do Ouija boards anymore. I burned mine. I basically pour holy water. I just poured holy water all over it and prayed over it to cleanse it. And then, like I said, I put it, and then we had a fireplace, and I just destroyed it to break the connection. Because if you don't break it, you still have a connection, which you don't want. Now, I can tell you that from experience, you don't want that. Believe me. And like, you know, as soon as I went into that haunted house, I could literally tell it. I could feel, not see it, but I could feel a shift, a complete shift in the room. And literally, like seconds to like a minute afterwards, like I'm standing there. My mother was like a couple feet away, and the other person that was giving us the tour was a few feet away. And literally, I could feel like around me really cold, and it felt like somebody was standing like all around. Like there was people standing all around me, and it felt like something. And I felt something touch my hand, but it was really cold and like. It felt soft, like a wind, you know, like cold and soft, or like smooth. which is funny because nobody else was, experiencing that. No, except for one of the people there, they kind of did, but because the place that me and my mother bought, like the people who lived before us, they went there even, and they experienced the same thing, like a complete shift in the room and stuff like that. So of course I was curious. And I felt the same thing they felt, like a complete shift in the room. And stuff like that, which is why things like that I always say, like, I've seen plenty of proof to know that there's definitely something that we can't see. Like an afterlife, spirits, or whatever they are. I don't know. Now, if I go by the Bible, technically the Bible is, answers it clearly that, like, don't get into the occult, and that very good possibility, if I'm reading the Bible, that it's probably most likely demons, because demons themselves actually pretend to be humans. So, like, when I was doing the Ouija board times, actually, I thought I was hearing my family calling out to me, but nobody was there. And my stepfather actually used to do the Ouija board, and I tried to get him to do it with me, but like he said before, I would never in my life, I will never, ever touch a Ouija board ever again in my life. And he's an atheist. Like, he used to be a Christian, he turned into an atheist. And he doesn't want to, he, in a way, wants to believe in God, but he's like one of those people who thinks there's no proof, which, I don't know, I see plenty of proof, personally, from my experiences, but even he said, he's like, I'm back and forth with the Bible, but after using the Ouija board, it's like, I know there's definitely an afterlife or something out there. I said, he said, it scared the S-H-R-T out of me. And I would never want to go near one ever again. And I said, if I found one near me, they would have to burn it, cut it, or do it somewhere else, because I don't want it near me. And then, of course, after, experiencing that, I can understand why, too. I mean, doing the Ouija board, stuff like that, like, there's experiences that scared me, too. That's why that, and then, of course, said doing prayers and everything else, and trying to include, cleansing to keep the room clean. Which why, usually my house, I have, like I said, I have crosses. I have a cross over my bed, above my bed where I sleep, and stuff like that. And I ask God for protection every night before I go to sleep, stuff like that to keep me safe. As I said too, like if it comes to spirits, I don't know what they are, but now, yes, I do have, obviously in our videos, I do have a spirit doll that basically it's a doll that's possessed with some sort of spirit. I don't know. Obviously, yeah, I still have it, and I have slept actually in the same room with this bigger doll. Now, obviously, nothing happens because I have Bibles everywhere. I have very open, so I keep it, Now, eventually, I thought about, getting rid of it because I don't know if as a Christian, if I should have something like that. But like I said, it's in a whole different room altogether that I don't normally sleep in. So, at the time, I just because I wanted to see what it was like and see if that was true, an actual thing. And just, some experiences, I can definitely tell it is. Now, obviously, yes, I do keep the doll secured in a box because I said I don't want the spirit to get out. So obviously it's blessed and everything, so it's trapped in the box in the room, so that way the spirit doesn't, try to possess or try to start spooking people, or stuff like that. But yeah, but I did have thought about like bringing it to like some place, like one of those Catholic places to have museums where they keep spiritual, possessed items like that to, keep that shit there. I've really thought about it because, it's just, I don't know if it's a Christian, it shouldn't be keeping it because, like I said, you don't know what spirits are capable. You can't even see them, unless you have like certain technology you could use to somewhat see it. But that's another whole life story going on. But I like to tell you my experiences and stuff like that. Basically, that's it. That's the whole point of the story. Though. It's basically just like, don't mess with the occult. Don't mess with Ouija board or stuff like that. But I could tell people from experience. Like, I haven't touched one in years. Like, I never go near it. Anytime I see this store, I back up from it. I anywhere near it. I'm like, no, I don't even want to go anywhere near it. I don't even like to look at it. It's just basically got like just bad vibes written all over it, really. And Jesus began to denounce the cities in which most of his miracles had been performed, because they did not repent. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! If the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be the day of judgment then for you. And you, Capernaum, I think, will you be lifted up to the skies? No, you will go down the depths. If the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Sodom, it would have been remained to this day. But I tell you that it will be more bearable for Sodom on the day of the judgment than for you. Rest for the weary. At the time Jesus said, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and learned, and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this was your good pleasure. All things have been committed to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father. No one knows the Father except the Son, and those whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. So basically it's saying that, Jesus is basically saying, come to me, all who are tired and exhausted, the likes of that, and I will give you rest and a break. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, that I am gentle and humble in the heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Lord, the Sabbath. At the time Jesus went through green fields, his disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath. He answered, Haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and he and his companions ate the consecrated bread, which was not lawful for them to do, but only for the priests. Haven't you read in the law that the Sabbath of the priests, that the temple desecrate the day, and yet are innocent? I tell you that the one greater than the temple is here. If you had known what these words mean, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would have been condemned. You would have not have condemned the innocent. For the Son of Man is Lord by the Sabbath. Going on from that place, he went into their synagogue, and a man with a shriveled hand was there, looking for a reason to accuse Jesus. They asked him, Is it lawful to heal the Sabbath? He said to them, If any of you has a sheep, and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, you will not take hold of it and lift it out. How much more valuable is a man than a sheep? It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. And he said to the man, Stretch out your hand. So he stretched it out and was completely restored, just as sound as the other. But the Pharisees went out and plotted how they might kill Jesus. God's chosen servant. Aware of this, Jesus withdrew from the place. Many followed him, and he healed their sick, warning them not to tell who he was. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. Sunday service, so let's get our prayer together. In Jesus' name, dear Lord, default